This is a Vader's Vault Protector Elite lightsaber. It's an original design, but it does have some hints or some vibes of the prequel trilogy. So one of those hints of the prequel trilogy is this Emitter Style. So you can see there's kind of this stacking of these kind of flat discs with a rounded edge. So it creates a really cool look to it. There's 5 of these discs here. Sometimes that's referred to as a radiator style emitter. And this looks a little similar to some of the prequel trilogy hilts. They'll have kind of an emitter a little bit like that. Another kind of nod to the prequel trilogy is this little decorative piece. So this is kind of an original kind of accent piece for this specific hilt model, and Vader's Vault calls it the Seismic Charge. And this is inspired by the seismic charges in the asteroid scene in Attack of the Clones, with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jango Fett, Boba Fett. So that's kind of a pretty cool detail that is specifically for this hilt. Now you can see that the version that I have here has these copper ends to it. There's kind of this copper piping right here. And Vader's Vault also offers an option where you have these as basically accent LEDs. So that's really kind of a cool upgrade option there. And it'll illuminate, a certain color when you activate the lightsaber hilt. But I think it looks pretty sweet, with the copper piping as well. It's just a nice little detail there. Now over here we have these switches. So this is the main activation switch and then the auxiliary switch. And so they've got just kind of an aluminum dome to each of them, or bezel. And then the top, the plunger, is brass. And so there's a few different options here. You can actually opt for an illuminated switch for the activation switch as well. Now over on the side, so this is the standard version. You just have this brass plating. It looks really cool, I think, too. Now the brass really kind of ties in with the brass of the switch plungers there. And this particular version of the hilt, I have some gold accent coloring at the top and then also at the bottom. So you have the option to select the color choice there, but I think the gold's really quite nice. It ties in with these brass accents. Now, there's different upgrades you can get in this section, including an OLED screen, which is kind of a cool thing. So you can have like a little kyber crystal floating there on the screen, and when you rotate through the sound fonts, it'll tell you which font it is. And you can even play little games on that screen if you want. It's a very small screen, but you can do it. Otherwise, I do think the brass plate version is pretty sweet too. Now we have these details here. So these are almost like windows in the emitter, except they're not windows, right? They're just kind of these details, but they have the nice kind of black color contrast. So it creates that sort of depth, and it really makes it look a little bit like windows, but instead just kind of adds some depth to the hilt design. Now there's some really tiny grooves here, and again, the black coloring really makes the design pop. So you have some above the grip and then also below. They create these really kind of clean, elegant lines to the hilt. Now the grip section is really cool on this hilt. So the version that I have here has the added leather wrap, so that's an option, it's an upgrade, and it really goes well with this hilt, I think, in particular. You can see that there's flat sides here, so this is very sword-like, very comfortable to hold with those flat sides. That's kind of another characteristic of this particular hilt. But if you're used to kind of a sword grip, you might favor those flat sides. Then at the bottom we have this really cool detail that's in black. It's sort of some notching, and then some more of that gold coloring at the bottom as well. Again, you can select the color here. There are a few different options, but this hilt has gold. There's also the optional CoverTech wheel here. You can see that it fits flush against the hilt. This is the black CoverTech wheel. But really, really cool hilt. As Vader's Vault hilts go, you know, it's really quite nice. It's that classic Vader's Vault sort of slim design, very comfortable, ergonomic, that type of thing. Now, since this is kind of the newer version of the hilt, it splits apart kind of in the middle, and that's how you access the chassis and the battery. So Vader's Vault switched to this fixed chassis several years ago now, I think, and many of their combat class sabers use this style where it splits in the middle rather than opening through the pommel. Although if you get some of the older Vader's Vault models, it'll open with the pommel, and there are a few combat class models also that I think still work that way. Now, one of the neat things about this fixed chassis too is it's quite easy to access the battery, you know, if you need to remove it to charge it. So instead of trying to pry it out, you just have to unscrew, just kind of unscrew the bottom of the chassis here, and it'll just open it up so you'll have a little bit of a gap. And so you can take that battery out super easily. Now when I put it back, there's probably going to be a sound. Sorry, I jumped because it startled me even though I knew it was coming. So that sound is just, you know, the hilt registering that the battery is there. Now one other thing about the particular one that I have, you'll notice this is a mirror finish, mirror polish finish, so really kind of gorgeous, shiny appearance to it. It is nice to have a microfiber if you get any of these really shiny finishes because they will show fingerprints. That's just, you know, that's not a deal breaker, it's just, you know, it's good to have one of these type of things to go with it. But it does create that really kind of glamorous sort of hot rod appearance. Now I think I covered many of the details of the hilt, so now we'll have to turn it on. So this hilt is equipped with a CFX soundboard, Crystal Focus 10 by Plector Labs, and it is configured as a pixel saber. So let me see if I got that there. Oh, and this hilt also comes with, well, it comes with the standard CFX sound fonts, but it also comes with a dedicated protector sound font, so it's for this particular hilt. Sorry, I don't think I have the blade is clearly not far enough into the hilt. Oh yeah, that wasn't that wasn't even close, you guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, you gotta have these right against those contact points, otherwise you can still turn on the saber, but the blade won't illuminate. There we go. So got it on kind of a golden color right now. Got smooth swing, nice responsiveness. Really cool with that flat side grip. Nice control, nice balance. Get the blaster bolt. Deflect. And then I can rotate through some of the fonts here. I'll just hold down the
sound bank selection.
So see, this is the dedicated protector sound font, and then there's the other CFX sound fonts.
Audio player.
Oh well.
SD card USB access. System menu. Exit menu.
Nightfall.
Crystal focus.
put it back to Protector since that's the standard. And just one more time. Alright, well there it is, you guys. This has been a look at the Vader's Vault. Let's get it back in focus. Vader's Vault Protector Elite Lightsaber. So this is a custom saber, and it's an original design made by Vader's Vault, and it has some design cues that hint to kind of prequel trilogy style lightsabers. So feel free to comment below.